Hey everybody, it's Linda with Stamping School. This week we're going to make this cute box that's food safe from Stampin' Up. Nice and big, but really my main purpose for the video is to show you how to stamp on the velvet paper so it doesn't smear and it gives you a nice, soft, fuzzy element to your projects. Little white squirrels actually exist here in North Carolina and some other places too, but they're like little unicorns around here, and they're not albino squirrels. They are actually a mutated gene from a gray squirrel, I believe, and it's a recessive gene. I think it's called leucism. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they're adorable and they are so cute. In fact, here's a picture of one that my neighbor Stefan took. He gave me this photograph and I have it in a frame in one of my rooms because it's such a cute one. And they're quick, so they're hard to catch. But they are adorable, and this one actually has a little black spot up on his head. So let me show you how to stamp on velvet first. Okay, we have red velvet paper and white velvet paper. They come 12 by 12. You get 2 sheets of the red, 2 sheets of white. They come in separate packages. If you look in the Stampin' Up! Holiday Mini, the July through December, they're back here. You can see both of them, page 75. So 2 12 by 12 sheets of the white is $5 and 2 12 by 12 of the red is $6. So here's some things that did not work as well. So first I did just regular classic ink, just our good old dye-based ink. And this one was done a few hours ago and it still smears. And that's done in a green ink, I think shaded spruce. Doesn't matter because it doesn't work that great. But this one, however, doesn't bleed at all, and that is Memento. And the reason why is because I heat set it, and that really worked well. So you would think StazOn would work great, but StazOn just is not very crisp. It doesn't bleed at all, but it's sort of all faded out looking, and we only have it in the black and maybe in the brown this year. I'm not sure, but that's kind of a pain. You might not have all the colors in a permanent ink. So then I thought, could I emboss it? So I took Memento ink, but you could take any color ink you wanted that's dye-based, and you can actually emboss it, which makes it come up even darker. Let me show you. So this is the black, which looks fine, and if you heat set it, it still looks nice, right? It kind of fades out to just a little bit of a gray. But if you use clear embossing powder on it, now you're not going to catch all the little speckles. It's going to stick. So if you do this on red, you're going to see some extra embossing powder flecks. Just kind of tap off the most of it. And we're going to heat set it. And what you'll find as you heat set it is it actually gets darker. So you can see some spots are a little bit darker and some are lighter, and you don't really feel the embossing as much. It just feels a little bit textural, but then you still get a nice, good image, and you can do this in any of the colors. As long as it's a dye-based ink, you can emboss it. And you can just heat set it if you want to without the embossing powder. Now, I wouldn't go with anything too detailed because it is going to look a little soft. But now you can take any color. This is navy, and it won't bleed like this green one does without heat setting it. Now, this one has the clear embossing powder on it, and this one does not, and there's really not that much difference for the colors. If anything, this one looks a little more purple. So, clear embossing is not the most important thing, just heat setting it is. Now, the blends work great on the velvet. You can definitely color right onto the velvet with the alcohol markers. So those are fantastic for coloring in. And if you know what, if you don't like a white squirrel, I think you might, I'll link to the video where I used the squirrels and I did them in different colors. Like this guy right here, he's stamped in pumpkin and then with black. So, and the stamp, you know, sort of leaves all those little areas. So it's a really cute squirrel. Now these two little guys are fussy cut and it's kind of a pain. You gotta really get in there, but it's worth it. This is going to be a hostess gift for someone who's having us over. Now, just for fun, I wanted to see how well the velvet paper die cuts, and it actually die cuts beautifully. You could make this look fuzzy clouds. You could make it snow. This is one of the stitch dies I did. You can also emboss it. So it works really well. I don't know if you can you see that? On the white. This is that musical note embossing folder we have, and this is it on red. So I think if you're gonna use it for a card, can you see that? It's all white. White on white is hard. Very, very textural, very nice. It also rips nicely. So imagine how this would be pretty for snow on the bottom here. Nice textural snow. So, and if you rip it this way, like this, you'll get a nice, pretty little snowdrift that people can touch, and it feels nice. Now, velvet does have its challenges also. I was going to make a pillow box purse. I wanted to die cut it, and I tried it once this way, and then I tried cutting it once this way, and each time the pressure on the velvet created too much of a pattern on there, so that didn't work out so well, because if I folded it, you would still see all those little marks on there, and I didn't like that. All right, let's talk about these boxes for a second. So they are in the holiday catalog also. They're on page 11. And they're right here in the corner. You probably miss them because there's just a little bit of them showing here. Craft gift boxes, $10 for 10 of them, and they are food safe. And they're quite large, which is what I like. So they are 4 5/8 by 6.5 wide and 3/4 inch deep. So I decided to make a little nut gift for, like I said, someone who's hosting something. So if you want to just put some designer paper down at the bottom, 6 3/8 by 4.5, and that fits in there just right. I did that for fall because I thought that would be really pretty. But you can also do cards. I'll show you what that looks like. The boxes come flat like this, and they already have the tape on there, which is nice. But I'm going to show you a tip because I messed up my first box. Now there is a protective film on here. You want to make sure you take that off when you're about ready. Like leave it on there for now to keep it from getting scratches, but some people might forget that that's there, and it's much prettier without it. So you want to bring all of your edges up, and there's a little tip for putting these together because I messed up on my first one. So I'll show you what that is. You want to leave the box lid for last. And you can use your bone folder, you know, to kind of keep everything down. But you want to do your bottom lid first. You're going to take off this tape. Make it nice. Give it a good squeeze. You're going to do that all the way around on the 4 corners. I love that they put the tape on it for us. It just, it's so nice. And I love that these are food safe. You know, you could put something directly in here, but I like putting it in the plastic anyway, into the little bags, the food safe bags. Okay. Now this is where you don't want to go too far, okay? You want to get these little ends, the back of the bottom of the box. You want to get those first. And then, and this is where I made my mistake. So we're going to get all those, the bottom of the box, all 4 corners. Sorry, I know I'm turning this in all different directions for you. Okay, and then wait, don't do these yet. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure these are nice and tight, and you want to actually close the box and put them on there. And why? Because I made them too tight on the top. So you want to do it, close it around the box. Yeah, I'll show you what happened to the first one. So close it around the box as it will be when you give it away, and then it's much nicer and it stays nice and snug. Because mine, I put these together without closing it first, and now it's a little too small and it's all buckling on me and I can't quite get them in there right. So I ruined a box. So to put this little guy together, I just took a piece of the wood grain paper. This is from, I think, the Beauty of the Earth. I just made a little dirt area and ran that, ooh, it's just perfect. Just ran that across, down the bottom, just to give it, now you could do snow, you could do anything with these. That's what's great. Make them into anything you want. In fact, you know, we did rosettes last week, and you could even just put a pretty rosette, forget this right here, put a pretty rosette and do a little sentiment or nothing, and just, it's pretty the way it is. Wrap it with a really pretty ribbon. For my sign, I just took a little 1/4 inch piece of cardstock, folded it in half, and then glued it together to make a little sign. You could use a real twig too, that would be kind of cute. Go find a little one from the yard. So depending on where you want your little sign, I just stamped the nuts about you on a little square. You could make your sign any way that you want to. That's just probably about 1 inch by 1 inch. Just like that. There's your little sign. And then the designer paper inside really makes it special. And then I just fussy cut out my squirrels and added a branch and some leaves from that Nuts About You stamp set. This guy right here. Oh, I almost forgot to show you the cards. So because of the size of this will actually fit the cards. And let me take this off before I forget. So for the cards, I chose about 5, really nice cards. They have some lift and bulk to them. 5 envelopes, and they're regular A2 size, and that actually fits in there really nice. You can just add another ribbon to the bottom and a tag of some sort. Like, you don't even have to do anything else. Look, what a nice present. Because of that window in there, it's all decorated already. Make a really great little card gift for somebody. But in this case, my little nuts are going in here, and we're done. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you go stamp on some velvet and let me know how it goes. And we'll talk to you later. See it, learn it, stamp it.